Hey everyone, James here with Rokoko, and as you can see, I'm in a suit. And the reason why I'm in a suit is because I want to show you how to forward data directly from Studio into Unreal. So let's go ahead and get started. So essentially what you want to do in order to enable data streaming is to do it within Studio. And in order to do that, you want to go up to your settings here, and then under premium features, you'll notice data streaming. So it's important to note that data streaming is a part of a premium feature, so you must have Rokoko Plus or higher in order to have access to this. So if you do have data streaming, you can now enable it by clicking forward data to turn that on. And then the other things you want to keep note of is your forward IP. This is the IP address that you're going to be forwarding this data to of the computer. So if it's on the same computer that you're currently working on, make sure that it's that computer's IP address. If it's a different one, you want to forward that data to that computer IP address. So just keep note of that. And then also you just want to make note of all of your forward ports and also the Smartsuit listen port, which is up here. Just make sure that they're all different. They're defaulted to all be different numbers. Just make sure, just keep them default and it should work. So now let's go ahead and jump over to Unreal and set up our character. Alright, so here we are inside of the Epic Games launcher, and the reason why we're in here first is because we need to install the Smartsuit plugin. So in order to do that, you want to go to Marketplace, and then in the search products field, you want to type in Smartsuit, and you'll see the Smartsuit Live plugin. So you can click on that, and then you're going to install this to Engine. So when you click on Install to Engine, it's going to ask you which version of the engine that you want to go ahead and install it to. I already have it installed in 4.21.2, so it's not listed here. But just go ahead and install it once you do select your version. And then as soon as it's installs, then you can go ahead and start a project in Unreal. Alright, so here we are in Unreal. And now that we've gone ahead and installed the Smartsuit plugin, we need to go ahead and enable it. So in order to do that, you want to go to Edit, Plugins, and then you'll see Smartsuit Live here. If you don't see it, it's currently under the animation. So it should be listed under here, and you can also use a search bar to search for it. So you'll see the Smartsuit Live plugin here. If it's not enabled, go ahead and check this box. And then when you do check it, you'll get a little warning pop up here saying that you need to restart your Unreal in order for the changes to take effect. So just go ahead and enable it and then restart Unreal. And then once you restart it, it'll be live. And so after you go ahead and install that plugin, you can go ahead and import your character. So let's go to import, and then we're going to import this character right here. So we don't have any existing skeletons, so we're just going to go ahead and leave it set to none so it creates its own, and hit import. And once your character is imported, you can go ahead and close out of this message log. And the first thing that you want to do is right click on the skeletal mesh, and we're going to create an animation blueprint. So go to highlight create and go to anim blueprint, and it'll create this here. And once it's created, we can go ahead and double click it to open it. And we're going to go ahead and attach some nodes. So the first node that we want to attach is, we'll just go ahead and type in Smartsuit. We'll get Smartsuit. And we want to attach the get Smartsuit controller. So we'll get that. And then we'll drag out a return value. And then we'll also search Smartsuit. And then we're going to grab the Smartsuit body pose. And then we'll also grab directly out of here component. We'll grab the component to local, and then we'll just drag this animation pose directly into result of there. So this is all you need. So make sure you have those nodes set up. And then the next step is to make sure to click Smartsuit body pose. And then you'll see over here on the details, we have this bone map that we need to set the bones. If you don't see this expanded, you want to go ahead and just click on this arrow and expand it. So as you see, we have hip, hips and stomachs and chest, and so we need to define those parts on our character. So we'll go ahead and click none, and then we'll match up the hip to hips, we'll match up stomach to spine, we'll match up chest to spine 2, and then we'll just kind of just go down the list and attach all of the joints that belong. Alright, now that you've matched all of the bones, you want to make sure to, you can go ahead and click on relative to start. Now this option will basically allow it so that the character will either, when you hit play, will either stay in the same position that it's currently set in when you place them inside of the scene, or if you hit relative, if you leave it unchecked, it will automatically jump to the absolute position of the character inside of Studio. So that kind of just depends on your own personal project and what you're working on. We're going to go ahead and check this, and so that our character, wherever we position it inside of Unreal, that's where we will be in the scene. And so once you do this, go ahead and compile, and you'll get a little warning, but that'll be fine. And then you can go ahead and save it if you want, and then we can go ahead and close out of this. And then now what we want to do is drag our animation blueprint directly into the scene. And one thing that's important to note is your rotations on your character should all be set to 0. If they're not, you might get some issues with rotations on the character's limbs and things like that. So you just want to make sure when you drag it into scene, make sure that all of your rotations are set to 0. Alright, and so the last thing that we need to do now is place 2 specific objects in our scene. So right up here under modes, we want to search Smartsuit, and you'll see 2 different ones. You'll see Smartsuit Controller and Smartsuit Receiver. Now these are essential for this to work. So you want to just go ahead and drag this directly into the scene. And do the same thing for the receiver, and then now you'll see them in your world outliner. So if you go ahead and click on one of them, so we'll click on Smartsuit Receiver 1. This is where you want to input your streaming data port, and our streaming data port in Studio ended in a 3. So we'll go ahead and change this to 3, and then we'll just leave everything else the same. And then our Smartsuit controller, we'll click on that. And then this is where we can identify which suit that we have. If you want it to auto connect, you can go ahead and check that, which we will. Otherwise, you can use the suit name and type in the suit ID here. So that is all that you need to do. And now if we go ahead and hit play, actually let's go ahead and set the camera. We'll set you right here. And then now if we go ahead and hit play, now you should see the character start to move to our body. And so this is essentially how you go ahead and use Studio to forward data directly into Unreal. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I look forward to seeing all of the other projects that you're able to create inside of Unreal. Thanks for watching, guys.